this down just a tad bit. That's all right. The vertically challenged, they don't look out for us. How you guys doing? It's good to see everyone in person. This is some good stuff, okay? It feels good to be back out here for training camp. The guys are working hard. Obviously, we just going to continue chopping wood. We know what our goals are and expectations, but it don't mean nothing if we don't take care of business on a day-to-day basis. So with that said, I'm all ears.
Eric, just today with practice, I saw you getting a little animated out there with the way they were performing. Just overall kind of giving you your just what you thought there.
Well, obviously, you know, being a competitor, we all want it to be perfect. But we understand the ebb and flow of practice. Sometimes you have good days. Sometimes the guys on the other side have good days. The only thing that you want to see is guys making sure that they continue to play with the effort that we expect them to play with. And then when it's all said and done, we'll coach it up on tape and just clean it up. So today we didn't have a very good day, but I'll have an opportunity to really evaluate it once we go in there and take a look at it on tape.
This is still early, and I know the pads are tomorrow, but from Lucas Niang to Trey Smith to Creed Humphrey, just what have you seen that's given you confidence in what those guys can do moving forward?
You know what? I'm very excited about those young guys. Coach Heck is a hell of a coach. He does a great job of communicating. He's done a great job over the years of teaching. He has a way with those guys. Those guys are doing a good job. Are they right where we need them to be right now? No, but that's what training camp is for. In fact, you know, as bad, you know, as you hate to see mistakes made, it's almost good because now you can go out there and take a look at it on tape and have those guys learn from their mistakes. So right now, these guys are doing a heck of a job. They're learning the strain to finish. And when it's all said and done, with Coach Heck is doing an outstanding job of collectively getting those guys to learn how to play together.
Laurent Duvernay-Tardif this a couple days ago, but because all three of them are playing together, is that somewhat beneficial than it just being one rookie with four veterans in camp like this?
No, it forces all of them to be accountable to one another because at that position, you have to communicate. You have to have awareness, and you got to stay in contact with each other. So it forces those guys to talk to one another, which is a great thing. So all the little things that they're not doing is going to help them as we continue to build.
What have you seen, if anything, from Nicole Harden that lets you know he's ready for a bigger role if you guys choose to use him that way this year?
You know what? McCullough's done a great job of coming back to camp in shape like he always does, but you're still seeing that explosive power. He's working on his releases, and he's just fine-tuning the little things. We're excited about him. Not only are we excited about him, but also, too, you got McColl. He knows he has Pringle on his back, D-Rob, you know, a number of guys, Cornell, Callaway, and I mean the list continues. But McColl is doing a heck of a job. He's working hard, and he's working on the details to help him to improve each and every day.
That first interception today that Willie got, was that a wrong route or a bad ball?
Which one? I'm sorry.
The first interception, the one that was kind of over the middle, a little bit on the left, there.
Put it this way, in my opinion, from what I remember, it was just a poorly executed play. We need to execute better. So.
I also wanted to ask you about another new guy, Jerick McKinnon. What sort of different element does he bring to the running back room?
You know what? Jerick has been in this league for a number of years. He brings experience, okay? He brings special teams play because he's been a four-phase special teams player. On top of that, the kid's just a dynamic football player. So I think with him being in that room, he's going to help D, and he's going to help Clyde. He's going to help those guys to grow. But on top of that, he can help us in many different ways, giving us a nice little change of pace.
The draft picks. What are your initial impressions of both Noah Gray and then Cornell Powell?
You know what? Those guys are working hard every day. They're doing a hell of a job. Are they right where we need them to be? Not quite. But I will say this. Every day I'm seeing them improve upon something. Now, are they making mistakes? Yes. Mistakes happen. And like I said, you want to encourage them because when they do make a mistake, it's not about that particular play. It's what are they going to do the next time they have an opportunity to get out there. So the good thing is that both those guys are working their tails off. They've found a way to make plays each and every day. And so the thing that we want them to do is just to continue to strive to be at their best.
You think faster than Usain Bolt?
Listen, I'm not getting into that. If he wants to race him, you know, so be it. I don't know when that's going to take place. It'll probably take place sometime next offseason. But I'll be curious to see Usain Bolt run. Now, here's the thing. I truly believe that Tyreek can run. When we start talking about these legends, I'm going to err on the legend. And I love Tyreek, okay? But I'm going to err on the Olympic gold medalist, you know what I mean? And that's not to say I don't love him, you know what I mean? I love Tyreek, but I'm going to err on the legend.
Eric, how much of a difference do you see in Clyde Edwards-Helaire this year, this training camp, compared to his rookie training camp?
You know what? He's doing a heck of a job. He's obviously it's year 2, so he understands exactly where we want him in the pass game. So it's good seeing him get out there and mix it up a little bit. He has a better understanding of what's going on with the protection, so he's doing a good job in the run game, as he always does. But I think overall, he's just finding his rhythm, because now it ain't the first time that he's doing it again. You know what I mean? It's now he's done it. He's been there. He's had an opportunity to evaluate himself throughout the offseason, and now he's just out there being comfortable and playing football.
Darius Shepard after a mandatory minicamp, you know, a local kid from Blue Springs. What intrigued y'all about him to bring him into camp to get a look at him?
You know what? The kid is a sharp kid. He's a very smart kid. Joe's doing a heck of a job with all those guys, obviously. And the thing that I love about him, wherever you put him in, he finds a way to make the play the right way. He runs very good routes. He has a little quick twitch in him. And also, too, the kid has great hands. So he's been fun to watch, and he's been fun to work with.
Last time we talked to you, you were disappointed we didn't ask you about 20-0. I didn't want to disappoint you again this time, so you have any thoughts on that?
I'll say this. If our guys are not striving to be at the best, then there's a problem. So, yes, everybody wants to go undefeated, and that's a huge challenge, okay? But if we're not striving for perfection, we want to make sure we fall short by falling short to the moon. So if we want to reach to the stars, let's go to the moon. Let's make sure that we're doing everything under the sun. So what am I saying about that? Like today, okay? Today we had an off day. We got to make sure that we get back to business and making those daily and monthly deposits. We got to make sure we're making the necessary deposits when we're out there on the field, helping us to improve so we can be at our best when those opportunities present itself.
Puts that out there.
Yes, I have no problem with what Pat said.
Jody Fortson now for a couple of training camps. So started out as a tight end, back to wide receiver, and now he's back to tight end. Where is he in his development? And tell me if my eyes are deceiving me out there, but he seems to be making quite a few plays.
You know what? Jody's doing a heck of a job. And obviously he's benefiting because he's had an off season where he can go out there and work. All right. And then on top of that, he has an opportunity to come back after going through that process of having the offseason of OTAs and going out here for training camp. And Jody has made the necessary steps to help put him in position to make, you know, some tough decisions around here. So at the end of the day, we want Jody to continue to work. Now, obviously, everything changes when we put the pads on, but we want him to continue being who he is and making sure that he understands that every play is by far the most important on a day-to-day basis.
See him also contribute on special teams.
I would love to. And understand this. I always tell these young guys every single day, all right? There's an imaginary sign at the front door in Kansas City, and there's an imaginary sign right outside that locker room, hiring all positions, okay? So make sure when you step out in that locker room, when you put on that uniform, you're interviewing for a job. So every opportunity you have to go out there and show something, put it on tape.
You do get the pads on with the new offensive line guys across the board. What are you looking for? I mean, is communication the most important part? Are you looking for attitude? What do you really need to see?
It's all that. You want to see these guys communicate at all levels. On top of that, you want to see them line up and play hard together. You want to see them strain to finish. But it's one thing about an offensive line group, they all have to work on gelling and making sure that they're on the same page. I will say this, they got a heck of an O-line coach that's done a heck of a job with them. So far, so good. When we come out here tomorrow with the pads on, you know, now we continue to roll.
Anyone else? Thanks, everyone.
You guys take care.